What is the magic formula for winning a midterm election? Logic would dictate it's attacking lawmakers over Obamacare, but there seems to be a shift. Try as they may to discredit people like Rand Paul, the establishment, whether that's the media or the behemoth and clumsy political parties, have lost traction on a more pressing matter, the NSA. It resonates with younger voters, makes an odd alliance of progressives and libertarians, and it's a topic that's not going away. If you're torn between national security over your freedom, fret no more. There's probably a candidate near you willing to take your vote to take on the NSA. We'll take them on too. Screw it. We're the independents. Hi there, I'm Kennedy. I'll be your hostess this evening. Happy Monday. I know, you could get punched for saying that, but I'm not worried because I love you. I am joined by Reason Magazine editor-in-chief Matt Welch and Mr. Happy Pants Camille Foster from Free Think Media. He's also an entrepreneur. And together, we are the Independents. We are going to be joined by the very independent and dead sexy Penn Jillette for much of the show later on. So ratchet your belt loops and buckle in. Tonight, we have assembled the perfect Monday night party panel. But where will the fissures fall? Let's find out. On the right, it's glorious Guy Benson, political editor of townhall.com. And to his left, we welcome back Democratic diehard Russell Simmons, political advisor. It's Michael Skolnick. Hot! All right, Hillary Clinton admitted she's wildly out of touch and proves what all independents have known and what we loathe. Politicians, they're just not like us. She's been comfortably in the bubble for too many decades and admits she hasn't driven a car since 1996. It's because she has a Secret Service detail, blah, blah, blah. But hasn't she just been at it for too long?
Haven't they all been at it for too long?
Yes.
The Clintons, the Bushes. Well, we had Mitt Romney, we had John McCain. Have any of these people driven a car in the last 30 years? Bob Dole probably hasn't driven a car.
Why you gotta play her
I
on
like
Dole?
Bob Dole, but he was in the Senate for 5,000 years. No, it's a real thing that we have a political class in this country, especially at the top. More than half of Congress is millionaires. They're all lawyers. People are kind of different than you and me, and at some point that's a problem.
Yeah, they just don't know anything. I mean, I guess I get bummed on these people because they're like people in academia. Like, they never leave the safety of their zone. And how can you possibly rule and lord over the electorate, not knowing anything about how people really live?
I suspect the way they try to clean this up is by setting up some staged photo op in a grocery store like they did with Timothy Geithner and Michelle Obama, where they're going through the produce aisle and they're fiddling with the bags and you look up and, oh, this is stunning and amazing. Look, you could check yourself out all by yourself.
Right. Speaking of a grocery store, remember when George H.W. Bush came out of office in '92? He had never been to a grocery store where they had a scanner. Yeah. He didn't even know what it did. He looked at the scanner and was like, what is this?
Okay, but here is what I will...
It's actually not a true story.
It's totally true.
It is actually an apocryphal story, but it did hurt him, and he had that appearance of being aloof.
I don't care if the president knows how much a gallon of milk costs. I really don't. I don't care if they know
how much a gallon of milk costs.
A half gallon of really good organic milk is like $4.69.
Okay.
Yeah,
See?
I have no elite. And
Yeah,
and it's not because I don't do my own grocery shopping.
I don't want my 4-year-old to sprout breasts.
There you go.
Because it's a boy.
Touche.
Yeah.
Love you, Lotus.
Anyhow. Is Hillary Clinton out of touch, Guy?
That was a very interesting comment on her part. I can't imagine what compelled her to say this. And she said it to an automotive audience. That's the other thing. She's like, I love cars. In fact, I remember the very last time I drove one, 1996. I was 11 the last time Hillary Clinton drove herself anywhere. Like, that's the thing.
She also claimed, though, that the Secret Service would not permit her to drive anymore after that.
What was she doing
so
in '96
dangerous.
driving a car as the first lady? That's what I want to do.
Defending marriage, I guess.
I
needed to get away?
I hope doing donuts in the parking lot.
Exactly, right.
Blowing off
in the
some
beast.
steam.
Yeah, hopefully she was like Shirley MacLaine guarding Tess. Just totally going rogue.
But there's no way to
Do people no longer love Nicolas Cage movies? Am I alone here?
If you're going to claim to represent the little guy, you shouldn't say things that betray the fact that you are an unbelievably cloistered elitist.
Yeah, totally out of touch. And
This is a non-story, though. This is a little bit of a reach.
Okay, but here's what's funny, Michael. If this becomes the story in 2016 over Benghazi, I will point you to
You win.
I will be entertained. All right, now this is fascinating to me. Sometimes when you're so invested in this story, you forget other people are also paying attention. And there's a new crop of candidates on both sides trying to make hay and get votes by painting themselves as the anti-NSA candidates. They're trying to understand people like Rand Paul and get their fans. But Lindsey Graham, does he really want me to believe that he's anti-NSA? I mean, that's insane, guys.
No, he's not running. He's not running as an anti-NSA guy. He's being challenged by an anti-NSA candidate who wants to
punch him in the uterus.
Lindsey Graham is always going to be one of the hawkest Republicans or anybody's out there. But what is interesting is the Republican Study Committee. I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about this on Friday. Not the Study Committee, but the National
the GOP,
Committee.
the RNC.
They came out with incredibly strong language saying that NSA dragnet surveillance, this is the worst surveillance any democratic country has ever conducted on its own citizens. The fact that Republicans did that is both significant and kind of hard to believe.
And it seems like they're shifting their weight behind the Rand Pauls versus the Chris Christies of the world.
I think they're shifting their weight behind where they feel like the grassroots are right now. I personally was not a big fan of that decision and that particular language, and I cannot imagine.
Because you love spying on your own citizens.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You hate freedom?
That's, you know what, you just put your finger on it, actually. Thank you for that. No, but I think that the RNC, they would have never passed this if it were a Republican president. Let's not forget that the Dragnet and we call it the NSA, it started under Bush, and I'm not saying
Didn't
that...
the NSA started under Truman?
No, but this particular program with the metadata started under Bush and has been continued under the Obama administration. The RNC would have never done this in 2005, 2006, I think is when it was revealed, or 07. They've waited. It's a
maybe they actually want to
time.
Elect another Republican president again.
Yeah,
which
and
would
no
be
one actually
would
knew
be
about
good.
the program, so that is why.
Yeah, because going down the whole "let's keep
it.
men from kissing each other" road isn't going to do much for them, is it?
Well, I feel
that's a Mike Ricks post.
Is that also in the platform? I must have missed that particular.
Yeah, that pretty much is all. You know,
no men
it's not
kissing each
verbatim,
other.
but yeah, men kissing each other is pretty much out of the Republican platform.
Out of the platform, all right.
I'm just confused, though, why the Republicans, we were spying on Muslim
Oh, yeah, and
Americans.
Democrats are so good on this, by the way.
Oh, I'm not saying we are, but certainly Republicans, when we were spying on Muslim Americans, they didn't raise their hands. The RNC didn't say, let's stop that investigation.
They're not. Now, your Democratic administration, they're not just choosing Muslims. They're spying on everybody.
Certainly.
They're using Angry Birds and Google Maps and whatever else.
It's
wow.
fairness.
So, fairness? It goes both sides?
I'm saying it's fairness in spying, right?
No, I think it needs to stop, and I think it's good that there are folks who are going against people who are pro-NSA and challenging them. It's good for democracy. It's good for this country. And if guys like Lindsey Graham want to stick to it, or folks in Maine, Susan Collins, want to stick to it, let the voters decide.
Here's what to watch. When Democrats primary Democrats on this issue, that will be a sign of health, I think. And we're beginning to maybe see that in the story, because this was a cherished Democratic ideal under Barack Obama when he first ran for president. It was all about getting rid of the imperial presidency. Well, you know, now he's been the imperial president, and that tendency on the left.
That must have been opposite day, because we've exploited the imperial presidency.
Exactly. So he's, you know, that whole tendency disappeared, and now it's hopefully coming back.
All right, we'll have the party panel back. I know that for darn sure. And later on, as promised, Penn, sweet-ass, magic loving Gillette, who will be here crafting political poetry. And next, we're going to talk to an anti-marijuana policy jargonist about the DEA's pushback on the president. Obama's trying to rejoin the Choom Gang. We just want some consistency, because we're the independents.
We should take a walk, but you're such a fast walker.